and this time class we'll be studying the second method of finding the solutions of our quadratic equations by factoring. Now in factoring class, we have so many types of factoring. We have the common monomial factoring, we have the perfect square trinomial, and we have some indifference of binomials, and we have the quadratic trinomials also. So by factoring class, we are applying the null factor law. So what is this law? So this one is when the product of two or more numbers is 0, then at least one of them must be 0. If we have A times B, we have factors A and B is equal to 0, then A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. For example, we have factored our quadratic equations into this form: x plus 2 times x minus 3. So we have two factors. According to the null factor law, this must be 0 or this one must be equal to 0 or both of them is equal to 0 to find the value or solutions of our quadratic equations. So here, if you want this one to become 0, what is the value of x? So the value of x must be negative 2, right? Because negative 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. Here, what must be the value of x to make x minus 3 is equal to 0? So the value of x must be positive 3, because 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, in formal computations, because sometimes it is not like just as simple as this. Sometimes we have 2 here, 2x plus 2, or 3x plus 2, or 5x minus 3 over 4. So, to solve for x in this form, we equate them to 0, like this one. So, for x plus 2, we will put x plus 2 is equal to 0. Transpose 2 to the other side, and we have negative 2. That's the value of x here. Here, we transpose negative 3 to the other side, so it will become positive. So here the value of the solutions of x, if you want one of them or both of them to be 0, is negative 2 and positive 3. Okay, let us apply this one, this by factoring method. So we have number 1 here. And before we factor our quadratic equations, make sure we combine them in the left side or on the right side if you want. But it's better if we will make our x squared positive. So in this case, it's better to transpose 5x to the left is equal to 0. Now, do not do this one class. If you see the x here and the x there, and you are thinking to divide this by x, whatever we do here, we also do that on the other side. So here x squared over x will give you x, and 5x over x will give you 5. So you will say that, oh, the solution for x squared equals 5x is 5. That is illegal cancelling. Do not cancel or divide both sides by the common factor. X is common factor of x squared here and another common factor of 5x, do not divide them, because if you divide it by the common factor, you will lose the answer 0, because there is another value for x there which is equal to 0. Okay, let us show. Do not do this one. This is illegal cancelling. So by following the method of factoring here, we combine them here on the left. Why on the left? Because the x squared here is positive. So this one is positive. So the 5x should be the one to be transposed to the left here. So we have x squared here minus, because this one is positive, it will be negative on the left. We subtract minus 5x. We subtract 5x also on the other side. So we have 5x now, and there's nothing there on the right side. Put the 0. Now, because our method is factoring, we will factor x squared minus 5x. And here, we see that the x is a common factor. So we remove the x here, we factor it, we extract it, and then x squared over x, and that is x to the first power, minus, so it's minus 5x over x will give us 5 is equal to 0. So these two are the numbers there, the null factor law. So we equate this one to 0. We equate this one to 0, and then we solve. So for x, we equate that one to 0, and x is equal to 0. This is the one that we miss there when we divide x squared and 5x by x. We don't have the 0. That's why it's illegal to cancel the common factor to both sides of the equation. And then the other one is x minus 5 is equal to 0. Transpose this one to the other side, or add 5 here, add 5 there. So x is equal to positive 5. So we have two solutions for x here. One is 0 and the other one is 5. Okay, let's have number 2. These are all common monomial factoring. So here it is arranged already. All of the terms are on the left side of the equation and is equal to 0. So if you have quadratic equations or equations that is not yet arranged, you must arrange them, you combine them all. Okay, but it's better if I said it's better if the x squared is positive. So you transpose everything, the middle term, the constant, to make this one positive. Okay, 3 and 15. The common for 3 and 15 is 3. Okay, x squared. X, no, we don't have x there, so we cannot pull out the x. So that is the 3, the common factor. We divide 3x squared divided by 3. 3 and 3 is equal to 1. So we have x squared. That is minus, we put a minus here. And 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. Is equal to 0. Now to check class, count the number of terms here. We have 1 and 2. So in your factoring, you must have also 2 terms here, not 1. Sometimes if this one is 3, it becomes negative 1. Some students will not write anymore the negative 1. And their answer is only x squared, which is wrong. So you count the number of terms here. If you have 3 terms here, 1, 2, and another 1, the terms inside the bracket must be also 3 terms. Okay, do not make it or reduce it. It's equal to 0. Now, this one, So you have 3x squared minus 15. So you have this one here. So 3 is equal to 0. Okay, no problem there. What remains is x squared minus 5 is equal to 0. We equate that one to 0. And then we transpose negative 5 there. X is equal to positive 5. And this one is still squared. Minus 5, there's positive 5. We remove the 2. How? We raise this to the 1/2. We also raise to the 1/2. But 5 to the 1/2 is square root. So we have plus and minus when you have the square root here. So you have that one. Or in decimal, you press that one in your calculator, square to 5. So your answer will be 1 is positive, 1 is negative. So you have two values for x in this case, class. Okay, number 3. We have 2x squared plus 6x is equal to 0. So we factor it. Okay, so we have 2 and then also x is the common factor. So the common factor is 2x. Then we know our answer here will be a binomial because we have two terms here. We should have also two terms here, which is separated by a plus here. Okay, a plus. Okay. Now we divide 2x squared by 2x to give us that x there. Plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. X and x is 1 is equal to 0. By the way, class, you can check your factoring by distributive property of multiplication. Okay. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 1 is 2. X times x is x squared. Positive, positive. 2x times 3 is 6x. Then we have 2x is equal to 0 divided by 2 divided by 2. 0 divided by 2 is 0. X is equal to 0 here. On the other side, we have x plus 3 is equal to 0. Transpose that one and we have negative 3 here. So we have 0 and negative 3 for the solutions of that quadratic equation. Okay, so let's have more example number 4 and 5. So I'm going to erase this one now, class. So we'll have a clean sheet here for our solution and example. Why did I erase that factoring there? Don't worry, we're still in factoring. They're all factoring. Okay, number 4 class, this one is number 4. 21x minus 3x squared is equal to 0. I'll write the number 5 example here. Minus 2x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. Okay, here class, let's have the number first. We have 21 and 3, that's the common. So the common is 3. What about the letters? We have x here and we have an x there also. So we remove the x. Do not remove x squared because we have only one x here. And then, because that is minus, expect that this one have two terms. We have two terms also here is equal to 0. Now we divide 21 by 3, 7, cancel the x is equal to 1, minus there, 3 over 3 is 1. X squared over x is x. So this one is inverted. The x squared, the x is here and the 7 is here. And then we equate them to 0. So we have 3x is equal to 0. We want to divide this by 3. We want to divide this by 3. Cancel. X is equal to 0. What about the other side? On the other side, it will be 7 minus x is equal to 0. Because this one is negative, it's better to transpose negative x to the right, leaving the positive 7 here, and then x will become positive 7 is equal to x. That is, x is equal to 7. So we have two solutions for this quadratic equation, and that is 0 and positive 7. Okay, let's have number 5 for common monomial factoring. So we have the sign here. It's better, I think, to remove also the negative here. Extract the negative because they have both negative, or you can do the positive. So why not we remove the negative here because they are both negative. Remove it here. And then we have the 2 and the 2 there, so we have the 2. We have x here and x there, so our common monomial is negative 2x. When we divide negative and negative, the answer is positive. 2 and 2 is 1. X squared over x is x. We are now check the sign. Negative times positive is negative. Negative 2x times x, negative 2x squared. Right, check. Now, what is the sign of this one? It will not be negative because if you will put negative here, when you multiply negative and negative, it will give positive. It is wrong. So here, just check to get the negative. If you multiply the negative here and the positive there, it should give the negative there. So the sign here must be positive. Now when we divide 2x by 2x, of course, that's what I'm telling you. Don't say and tell me that you're not going to put any other 1. There should be 1 there because we have binomial here, and the answer here inside the bracket must also be a binomial. Is equal to 0. We equate them. This one is 1 factor, negative 2x another factor, and x plus 1. So we have negative 2x is equal to 0 over negative 2 over negative 2, and x here is equal to 0. And on the other side, we have x plus 1 is equal to 0, transpose 1 there, and x is equal to negative 1. Okay, that's it for common monomial factoring method of solving quadratic equation.